I think one of my favorite lyrics would have to be the end of this first verse, or one of the beginnings of the first verse. So I say, "Hey, what you know about us? Sit down, I know what you're thinking. We're just helpless and drinking, wasted youth."
Hey, welcome to the Work of Art Show, where we chop it up with artists about their latest music, their latest art, and all that good stuff. Now, I'm your host, Witty, and tonight we got a real special guest, award winning songwriter, one of my favorite artists of today. And yeah, let's get right to it. So, Corinne, why don't you tell the listeners and the viewers how'd you get all started with the music thing?
So basically, my both of my parents kind of introduced me to music at a young age. My dad introduced me to singing in particular because he would play guitar and sing to me at night.
Mm-hmm.
And I would kind of stay up all night, dance around, and enjoy the music rather than go to bed like my older siblings would. And then my mom actually put me in Suzuki piano, which is a piano method that's all based off of ear training. So I think that also kind of influenced how I make music as well and how I've kind of got into singing and got into performing. So I really started performing at a young age. I think I started performing out around age 6, and I might have even started playing piano out a little younger than that because I was pretty young when I started piano. But that was my start. And then the first time I formed a band was in middle school. So I think I maybe was around 10 or 11. And my dad was in that band. He played guitar. And then one of my best friends, Juliet, was also in that band. She's a singer, songwriter as well. And then we kind of had some other people rotate out as our drummer, bass guitarist, and I think maybe a few other things just over the course of however long we kept that band for, which we kept in that band, I think, up until high school, because I remember playing at farmers markets and all those other things with them.
Wait, so how old were you when you were playing at these farmers markets?
I think I started around age like 10, 11, 12, and then that lasted through high school. And then my dad and I would always play out. So we'd sometimes do like duos where it's just me and my dad. We performed everywhere. And as I got older, I was allowed to perform in the 21 and up venues.
Yeah.
We were able to do the wineries and the breweries and whatnot, that was really fun. But before I was 21, the only places we could really play were like the street fairs, the farmer markets, and anything that was more like family friendly.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what's up. So you started at a pretty young age, and it's not that common from based on today's artists. Um, Wait, so is piano the only instrument you played or kind of dabbled with as a kid, or?
So piano was my first instrument. I started with the ear training, the Suzuki method, which really gave me a good ear for music and singing in general. And then later on, I think also in middle school, I switched over to doing traditional piano where I learned to read music. So that's where I learned like to read notes and whatnot.
Hmm.
And then I didn't really stick with piano through high school. I did try picking up guitar when I was younger as well, but I only learned how to play one song on guitar, and that's the song I still know how to play to this day. But guitar I never really got around because it was a little too big for my hands to wrap around the guitar. So instead, later on, I kind of started picking up ukulele, which I started in college, and I actually just recently got back into playing ukulele these past few weeks. So that's my new quarantine activity.
Cool. Well, looks like you're staying busy.
Yeah.
And I read that you're an award-winning songwriter, and you've kind of got some awards under your belt.
Mhm.
Um, do you remember, what some of these awards are, and kind of how you got the chance to kind of win this and get this reward?
So I did a lot of West Coast songwriter competitions and I
Mm-hmm.
won some like minor regional awards for some of the songs I've written. And then the biggest one that I won within that competition specifically um, was I think it was best, it was like best international pop song. And that was with my song, Tell Me, produced by Kiba. So I
Mm.
won that competition with that song. And that was maybe, I think in, I want to say 2018. And then more recently, actually in the last few months, which is kind of crazy, I won an award for Best New Artist in Carrie Cole's Best New Artist competition. So she's a celebrity voice coach. And then with her, I won kind of a scholarship to go through her program with branding and artistry and songwriting. And
That's
that's something
dope.
I'm gonna be starting this next month actually. So the classes start in February. So I'm super excited for that.
That's dope. That's
Yeah.
dope. That's what I'm talking about. Um, okay, well, why don't we just get right into it? Let's talk about your one of your latest songs, Time to Bloom.
Mhm.
Um, let's talk about the cover art and how that was inspired and how that came about and what's the interpretation behind it and all the inspiration behind it.
So fun fact, Time to Bloom is actually the song I submitted to Carrie Cole's Best New Artist competition. So that song won me that competition, which is really exciting. I didn't actually win. I'm runner up, but I still won the scholarship to do the program, which is really cool.
That's what's up.
And I know a lot of people applied to that as well because she has a pretty big following. So I was actually shocked that I won that.
Cool.
Very
Cool.
last minute. But yeah, so for Time to Bloom, you asked about the cover art
Mm-hmm.
and the inspiration. Um, so for that cover art, it kind of just the song in general is about where I was at and how I was feeling during the beginning of COVID and kind of like how I was struggling and learning to deal with that. And I was kind of in a place of finding myself, which inspired the title for Time to Bloom. And it's kind of like a coming of age type story in that song. So I really wanted to represent me and who I am as an artist. So when you take a look at that cover art, you can tell that my favorite color is pink. The cover art is very pink, and obviously I got my pink on as well. So that was definitely some inspiration. Like my bedroom is pink, which you can also see in the photo. I have these neon lights hanging in my room. I think I have like an orange one and a blue one, and those two together kind of give my room this like pink aura. So that was kind of the inspo for the photo on the cover. I decided,
Mm-hmm.
we're in quarantine. It's not like I can do anything too crazy in terms of making cover art. So I was like, you know what? My bedroom's pretty cool. Like, I like the vibe, and I can make a cool cover art piece just from taking a simple photo in my room and throwing some cool edits on it.
Mm, okay.
Yeah.
So you were just pretty much inspired by kind of the pink and you wanted to kind of give it a feel of a personal, more kind of a personal touch of you in your bedroom.
Yeah, exactly. Because it is a very personal song. And I think seeing me in my element, like, that's the bedroom I wrote the song in, being in quarantine, I'm pretty much just laying on my bed all day writing out these lyrics.
Gotcha.
And that's exactly what you see me in the picture. I'm just laying on my bed, hanging out. And it really relates to like how I kind of created this song and how the song was really just about how I was kind of using that time to find myself. And I was spending a lot of last year really just writing to get my feelings out on paper.
Mm, okay,
Yeah.
I like that. That's some real stuff. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people can relate to that, especially during lockdown and quarantine. A lot of people are just in the house writing and trying to craft some new
Yeah.
tracks. Yeah, I could definitely relate to that. Um, yeah, well, how about the song title
Mhm.
and the song concept? How did that all, you know, come together?
So for this song, the writing process was that I got the track first. I heard the melody and I really liked it. I really wanted that kind of vibe of the song and the track. Like I really resonated with it, and
Mm-hmm.
it was very emotion provoking for me. And I think I kind of just started writing that first verse right away. Um, and then I just remember just writing out the song, and I wasn't even really thinking so much about where I was going with it quite yet. Cause I do remember writing that first verse and kind of just running with that and then going into that chorus. And I remember this being like a song that I actually finished pretty quickly. Cause some of my songs I'll start writing and then I finish it like next year. It really
Yeah.
just depends. And this was one of those songs where I kind of just really felt it and was able to just kind of wrap it up in a few days, I think. But originally, so when I wrote this song, I was kind of like, all right, what do I want? Like, what do I want to name the song, right? Because in the hook, I'm kind of ending these hooks saying, I want to be free, and then ending the second part of the hook saying, where can I find me? So originally, I was thinking of titling the song, like, I was kind of trying to figure out, like, where can I find me, or just naming it Find Me. But after going through the song a few times, one of my lyrics, which is actually in the verse,
Hmm.
is Time to Bloom, but it really just kind of resonated overall with the vibe of the song. And after like really taking a look at that line, I was like, wow, like that's actually what the song's about. And it's just more interesting of a title than like where can I find me or saying I want to be free. Because Time to Bloom really kind of wraps everything up like a nice little present and really just shows like what I was going through and how I was just trying to get out of that space and find myself and bloom into the person that like I want to be and I want to become.
That's what's up. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a fan of that song. I've heard
Thanks.
it a bunch of times. I know friends of mine that have heard the song that can really relate to it. So, definitely, props to you for putting that together. It's a good song for that really fits the time today. And I don't know how long we're still gonna be in this situation, but
Yeah.
how about favorite lyric or favorite part of the song and
Okay.
why?
Um, one of my favorite lyrics is definitely Time to Bloom, and I think that's how the title came about. But outside of that, I think one of my favorite lyrics would have to be the end of this first verse or one of the beginnings of the first verse. So I say, hey, what you know about us? Sit down, I know what you're thinking. We're just helpless and drinking, wasted youth. I really like the end of that phrase because that kind of really just resonated with me and it was something that just came so natural when I was writing. Like that whole first part, that was like the first thing I wrote down when I was listening to this beat.
So is it safe to say, the track really spoke to you and that's why you were able to really wrap it up and put the
Yeah.
finishing touches on it pretty quickly?
Yeah, I was really excited when I got this track because I was it really just made me feel something, and I think that's what's so important about music is finding something that can bring out those emotions and can make you feel because it's really so important, especially in today's society where we can get so stuck in our own head and kind of just lost without that human connection that we're so used to, and we're all craving that human connection and we're craving to feel something, whether that's happiness or sadness, like good or bad. It's just so much better to have those emotions and feel something rather than just kind of being on autopilot or feeling numb to everything, which this pandemic has kind of like put me in that headspace. So it was good to hear this track and really just feel something out of it because it brought something out of me and out of what I wanted to say.
Mm,
Yeah.
cool. So what's next? It's 2021. The state of music and the music business is forever evolving, and what are you up to? What do you have in mind, and what do you want to give to your fans um, as a year rolls along?
So I definitely have some new music that I'm going to be putting out this year. I'm really excited. It was a project, or I have a few different things. I have a project that was kind of a long time coming for me, and I'm really excited for that because I put a lot of time and work into that. And also something that I'm really excited for. We've been in this pandemic, right? And we all had to take the time to be like, like what am I gonna do with all this time on my hands? So I made my own very first track because I don't
Mm,
do any production by myself.
yep.
Not saying that the production is crazy or anything, it's literally just an acoustic guitar, but I did it myself, so I'm pretty proud of it. And I
Cool.
think it turned out really cool. It was my first time just, I mean, just last year alone, I've been spending a lot more time in Logic, which I never really spent a ton of time in. So already I've just been recording a lot of my own vocals for these past projects at home because it's like, what am I going to do? Go in the studio? That kind of slowed down. And so now I've been taking a little more control about learning how to record my vocals. And for this project specifically, I just figured out how to put a track together. So that was really
Hmm.
exciting. And I'm really excited to kind of share that project, which is very new for me because I'm so used to the fully produced out beats, which is a lot of fun. So this will kind of be like a new little twist.
Well, it's good to see that you're evolving as an artist. I think everyone or every artist needs to progressively get there and try different things until they find, what works with them. I mean, what works for them best. And um, it's that's good to see that you're not stuck in a rut, or you have writer's block or whatever. So
Yeah.
um, that's good to see. I'm sure your fans will be looking forward to that. Um, you have anything else you want to promote, or just last words for the people that are watching? Anything you want to let them know, or you want them to check out from you?
Follow me on TikTok. I'm gonna try. My goal for this year is to be posting on TikTok every day. I just kind of got my feet wet last year, and I'm really just trying to push myself there. So if you guys want to support me and come say hi, I would love to follow you guys back as well. So also gonna be sharing tidbits of my new music. So if you want sneak peeks on that, you can follow me on TikTok.
Cool. We'll make sure that they get that information. And well, thanks again for joining us. And I'm sure we'll be doing this again shortly. Um, we got to make sure that people are aware of who you are. And we're definitely going to be getting more artists on this show.
Awesome.
And yeah, well, I'm glad you came on and shared your work of art with us. And we're looking forward to more music and just more content from you. So yeah, well, everybody stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe, and we'll be back sooner than you know.
Thanks for watching the Work of Art show with Witty and Best in the Next. And if you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe and hit the
Witty
notification button.
Worldwide.